Hello, and welcome to Get It Off Your Chest, the funny side of breast cancer, with me, Estelle Marr, and
Andrew Moulding. And we've got a very special guest today, all the way over from America, and that's Keri Thompson.
yeah, she's flew in all the way from Colorado, coming into Tissy Towers. We've heard that she's this big fashionista, so no doubt we'll hear all the paparazzi following her as she comes into Tissy Towers in the next second or two.
Yeah, I love it.
It's Colorado where they did Dynasty. Dynasty. Yeah.
No, that was they were Georgians.
Oh, okay.
No, Colorado is a very laid back vibe.
Ooh.
They would not ever. So I grew up in Colorado, but I've lived in Dallas, which is like a very chic kind of area. So I'm like, I try and temper myself in Colorado because I would, like to wear high heels everywhere, and fashion just gets me through life. It's inspirational. It's fun. I used fashion to get through chemo and the whole bit. So I'm not as casual as most Coloradans, but they're very Birkenstock wearing, laid back, just good, wholesome people.
So how did you use fashion to help you when you had cancer?
When I was diagnosed, I was 39 when I was diagnosed. I'm 41 now. And I felt a very large tumor. So I was sure that, I was kind of in for it. And so I was washing my hair one day. It was long. And I said, if I am going to lose my hair, I'm going to marry my love of montages and fashion and make a hairtage. So I got my hairdresser and my boyfriend enlisted in this scheme. And I shaved my head from long to short. And I had all these looks in between, like a mullet and a mohawk and everything. And I had outfits to go with all of it. And the next day I went and got my own eyes tattooed on the back of my head, because my philosophy on the whole thing was, all right, if I'm going to be Mr. Clean Bald, I'm going to give him something else to look at. And I definitely want to give him something else to talk about other than cancer.
That's so cool.
Yeah. And then the other way I used fashion was I refused, and I have no judgments on what anyone does because this is a highly personalized process, and I have no judgments, but I went through chemo during COVID, so I could not go anywhere. The only place I went was chemo. And so I refused to wear sweatpants. I made it an event. I looked so ridiculous going in there. Sometimes I would go in 6-inch heels. And I got dressed up. I mean, it made me feel good. And I didn't want to be treated like a patient. So I thought I'd just be treated as a fashionista with a head tattoo or a rock star or something. I don't know.
I think one of yours, you got your partner, boyfriend or whatever, to paint your nails.
Yes. Yeah. That was actually really funny because he likes to be in charge, which is fine. He was the best caregiver ever. I couldn't have asked for a better person to go through that with, but I couldn't get a manicure and I was complaining about my nails. So he went to Sally's. Do you know what that is? Sally's Beauty. It's like a beauty wholesale store. And he bought a kit that you could do gel manicures, and he picked the most atrocious color and couldn't be bothered to have any instruction. So it was caked on an inch thick. And he was like, oh, this looks really good. I'm pretty sure this is going to peel off overnight, but yeah, we're looking good. He was like, I don't understand why this isn't drying. I'm like, oh, I do.
How were you received in the hospital when you used to come in and all your fabulous gear?
Do you have a fanfare?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I was definitely a known commodity around the chemo ward. Look, so I created a foundation called Next Conversation, and I did that because I wanted to give, what has been shocking to me is that I feel like a lot of people, especially women, sometimes need permission to make things fun. And, as soon as I was diagnosed, I don't know why, but I felt this very strong call to leadership. And I just knew that I had an opportunity to tackle this and approach this in a way that could bring levity and maybe have people look at it a different way. So I was unapologetic about what made me feel good. So, you know, I told all my doctors I was going to get a head tattoo. I don't think a single one of them believed me. And so that week was actually really crazy because I did the photo shoot. The next day I got a head tattoo. I think the day after that, I had my eggs retrieved because induced menopause was part of my treatment. So I chose to freeze my eggs. And then the day after that, I got my port placed. So I was in surgery and the doctors came in and I was so excited to turn my head around and say, see, I did it. I got it done. And it was a big deal with my oncologist because I was like, okay, I have to get this head tattoo. I have to have eyes on the back of my head when I am bald. It just has to happen. And so there was this huge conversation about, can she get a tattoo? Can she not? Because I was going through all this stuff. So we found this very small window of opportunity to get it done and got it done.
And they'll be there forever and ever.
Yeah, exactly. So they were kind of, I mean, I think that my personality came through in the beginning, so I don't know how surprised they were, but the nurses tell me that, they still repeat things that I've said and done to help other people. So that makes me feel really good.
Do you have kids?
No.
I was just going to say, when, if you ever have kids, you literally can say, I know what you're doing because I've got eyes at the back of my head.
Exactly. Yeah. So Patrick, my boyfriend, took some photos from behind and it looked like an alien. It was really creepy looking. You'll see that I have the photos in some of the videos, but no, I mean, I think people would see me, right? Cause we did go out to dinner some and I would get dressed. I mean, my God, I had a head tattoo. I had to show up, I mean, you can't wear tennis shoes and a hoodie when you have a head tattoo. So I put on all the jewelry, all the stuff. And I mean, it was obvious that probably wasn't my choice to be bald, but I think, I got a lot of compliments from people just saying, I love your head tattoo. And my boyfriend noticed a lot of the reactions from other people more than I did, just made him laugh and stuff. So, but for me, it was really tactical because I didn't want to be talking about cancer. I didn't want to be treated as a patient at all. And so it was something that I could talk about that very quickly changed the conversation away from cancer and made everybody feel good and feel comfortable with what I was going through,
It's hilarious, isn't it? It's like I had a friend who knew someone who had a brain tumor and called it Barry. And of course, your book, Estelle, you called your cancer Tracy, didn't you?
Yeah.
So I
had Tracy, Tyson, Tyler, and Tina. I have 5 in there, and there was one of them I called Sentinel, which was in my Sentinel note. I called it, that was the dog. So this family were living in my breast and what have you. And simply because it did bring a bit of humor, but like you said, people found it so much easier to talk about than saying, oh, so how's the cancer treatment going? They say, have we got rid of Tracy yet? Have you got rid of Tyler yet? What's happening? They've just found it so much easier to talk about. And that's what I wanted. Didn't want people waiting for me to go to the toilet so they could whisper behind my back.
The only thing that reminded me that I was bald and stuff was, because you lose all your hair, as you know, and losing my nose hair was the weirdest thing because, it would just start draining. And it's all of that hair exists for a reason. And it was winter time and we walked outside and I just started pouring and Patrick looked at me and I was like, I don't know, their hair stops it and I don't have any.
Because how much hair did you have in there?
Yeah, that's what I want to know. Apparently
it's like a woolly mammoth. It was running that much.
Right. Yeah. Either that or just a lot of snot. I don't know. The thing that freaked me out that I really didn't deal with well, or I was very cognizant of and wanted to have a solution for before it happened was losing my eyebrows, because I was like, if I lose my eyebrows, then I'm gonna look sick. I can get away with maybe she just is a rock star. And it was funny because I was at Nordstrom and these young girls that were, clearly had been dropped off by their parents to the mall asked me if I was famous. And I thought that was really cute. But, when you don't have eyebrows, you look sick. So that was the only thing that I was kind of fixated on. And then first time I put on fake eyelashes, it was like caterpillars had taken over my face. It was horrible.
Tell them about your story, Andrea, with the makeup lesson that you had.
Well, in England, we have this thing called look great, feel better. They kind of book, it takes about 3 months. So by the time you get on it, you've lost all your hair. Do you know what I mean? And you go in to it was Leicester Royal Infirmary when I had it. And we all went in, all kind of very quiet, all us bald women. And they give you a bag of goodies. And they're professional makeup ladies. And then they give you all a lesson, and they have a model that they draw on the eyebrows and show you how to do it all and everything. You get your bag of goodies and what have you. They give you a mirror each, and they show you with the model how to do it, and then it's your turn. So you spend hours trying to draw these eyebrows on. And I say to Estelle, the woman next to me, she leant over, she spent ages and said really seriously, "How do I look?" And I said, "You look really evil." She looked like a villain. And I say to Estelle, we all looked like, I looked at everyone, we all looked like a bunch of permanently surprised pantomime villains. And we just, the rest of the time, just in hysterics.
I mean, it's got to be so much easier going through cancer if you're a guy. You don't have to worry about all that stuff.
Do you think you've inspired people, Keri?
I hope so. I don't know that I've been able to get my story out to a large enough audience really to have the impact that I want it to have. But I think that you have an opportunity to inspire people every day, just kind of in your normal interactions. And I think, I just think everybody says this, but I just believe so strongly that it is your attitude. It is your attitude. Everything about your attitude will make it so much harder or, so much easier. Mm-hmm. It just does. And it's not an easy thing to have a positive attitude sometimes, but when you look back on it, you think about like the bad days, but you think more about the positive times. I think like you don't dwell on the bad. So
I really only allowed myself one miserable day. I got really drunk, watched a load of Bette Midler films, cried my eyes out, and got it all out my system, and I was all right then.
I wasn't attached to my breast, but I was really attached to my cleavage. I don't know if that makes any sense.
Yeah, no, because even though I've got a new boob, I can't have a cleavage anymore. It's too, the false one's too stiff. So the other night I went to a party and I wore this plunging neckline dress, and the way you can like hike your boobs up into the middle so you look all voluptuous. Well, I can hike one, but the other one's not shifting anywhere. So I'm kind of all a bit sideways. So I've got to walk into rooms at a 45-degree angle. So it's still kind of sexy and normal. But no, I do. I know exactly what you mean.
It's like your friend that's really too drunk to go to the next bar, but you just like take them anyway. Yeah.
Exactly that.
Yeah.
Did you get implants, Keri?
Mm-hmm. So I couldn't go direct to implants. So I had expanders, and I would go in every week because I was like, guys, I want them big. Like, we're talking obnoxious. And they told me from the beginning, they're like, Keri, like, you're not physically going to be able to have them that big. And I was like, just a D, just give me a D. And I have a D. So I went in every week and got expanders. When they swapped out the expanders for the implants, that was the easiest surgery ever after a double mastectomy. So it was like, I was, fine, but it's weird. So I describe cancer as the ultimate bully. It takes from you, right? And it's like this silent killer. And then all of a sudden it just completely disrupts your life and your schedule and the thing that I was anxious about was my time. I'm like CEO of our company, and we were getting investment, and we were so close to getting investment, and it's a tech company, which is, hard to achieve. And I'm like, how am I bald in a boardroom? Like, how can somebody tell me that? And nobody could. And, it dawned on, so that's another reason why I got the head tattoo, because I'm like, I'm a warrior. I'm not a patient. Like, don't treat me like a little girl. Like we were negotiating, we were having business conversations. Like, that's where we need to be. That's our lane. Our lane is not my boobs. But I had to get all these men who I worked with comfortable talking about my boobs. And I ended up getting so we have shirts now. My shirt says #myboobs, and their shirts say #her boobs, because I just had to bring levity to it, right? I'm like, guys, we're gonna be talking about my boobs a lot because they're going through the ringer. And it's what it is. And everybody wants to talk about boobs until something's wrong with them.
Exactly. Brilliant.
Until something's wrong with them. It's true, isn't it?
True?
Honestly.
Isn't it true?
I used to find pre-cancer, men would talk to your boobs, wouldn't they? But as soon as you say, I've had breast cancer, you can see that they really want to look at them to see what's going on, but they know that you're watching them now. And it's a really funny thing. Even like I said, when I come in with this plunging dress on the other day, I could see, some men looking at it going, so what's like going on with her chest? You know, is it a boob or is it not a boob and all that carry on? And I just don't say anything. I just leave them to it and carry on drinking shots, quite frankly.
I love it. Well, I tell people, I'm like, I'll tell you exactly what I look like. I look like Barbie with scars. I'm a nippleless wonder. But yeah, I mean, my boobs are forever 22. I don't have to wear a bra, you know, because I don't have anything like poking out of my shirt. And I don't think I'll ever get nipples. Like, what's the point? This is so convenient.
Yeah, see, now that's the one good thing about having a false boob, because now there's no nipple there. It's great when you go out on a cold day and the other one is just, you know, it's on end. And then, you know, and you're just like, can't you be like my other new boob, you know, where it's all nice and smooth and what have you? Because it looks odd now and you've just got this one jelly tot poking through your top.
When I was in 4th grade, my mom made me start wearing a bra, and every day I made sure that when that lunchbox went home, that bra was in the lunchbox. I would go in the coat room and take it off and put it in that lunchbox. I've hated bras my whole life, and now I don't need
I've
them.
hated bras my whole life. I think every woman hates bras.
Yeah,
you know.
and now I don't need them because nothing's poking out. I mean, sometimes I do want them to be like as close to my chin as possible. So I will put on like an extreme bra for that, but that's it.
I'm glitching again, aren't I?
Yeah.
Like, am I going to mute myself?
You can't mute yourself. You're on a podcast. Get yourself back on, you silly mate.
Well, my computer kept making that kind of garlic noise.
Oh, mine
about
has
you. You do the editing, Estelle. I was only thinking about you.
I know, yeah. By the time I've finished, I'm going to have about 30 seconds of Keri going, yes, I got a tattoo. I went to Target. Bye. That'll be it.
I looked like a rock star.
Yeah.
You do. I wish I'd kind of put something cooler on before I spoke to you. You know, I've got my mum outfit on.
It's just the hat. It makes everything look bigger, but again, it's just because my hair is so weird. It's like nothing can be done with it. So there was like a period of time where it was pretty cool. I could do this like mohawk thing with it.
I loved mine when it came back white. I had this quiff, this kind of white quiff, and like a buzz cut. My sister's really cool. She bought me this like big long leather brown coat, which I paired with some brown boots, and I just rocked that with some really cool sunglasses. And for about 6 weeks, I thought I was really cool, and then my hair went grey, and then it had the mullet, you know, the kind of MacGyver mullet.
Oh,
I can't imagine you in a long leather coat and leather boots. Did you look like a white man's shaft?
I look like a dominatrix. Well, I thought I looked cool.
Inspector Gadget.
Yeah, we all do that. We all think we look cool. I mean, totally uncancer related. I remember years ago getting this green suede dress, and I saved up really hard. It was about 19, and it came with thigh length green suede boots, and the heels were like really high. And I thought, right, all gorgeous. And I got it for this party, and I put it on, and I thought I looked fabulous. And I walked into this party, and the first person who seen me went, oh my God, you look like Robin Hood, you know, from the Merry Men. And then, you know, when you look at yourself and you're like, shit, I do. I do. I went home and sold it to me mate.
Oh my gosh, I bet you looked amazing though. But
no, after, as soon as he said it, I thought I look stupid.
So thank you so much for coming on. It's been a real hoot.
I know.
No, it's been great.
Yeah, it's been lovely.
Been really great.
It really has.
Yeah, I'm sure this isn't the last time we'll talk to you. Thank you again for coming on.
Okay, well, I'll talk to you guys soon.
Thanks a lot, Keri. Thanks
so
for
much.
joining us.
Yeah,
Thank you,
Bye.
Keri. Bye.
You're welcome. Bye.
So thank you everybody for joining us from Titty Towers today. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, subscribe to your podcast provider so you don't miss any of our episodes. Thanks everybody for listening, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
Take care.